My name is Emily Parker, and for 2 years, I was convinced that love meant losing myself. It all began the day my roommate Sophie dragged me, reluctantly, to a late-night gathering of her artist friends. Painters, musicians, designers, all older and seemingly wiser than me. I was 21, a first-year journalism major with big dreams and a tight circle of college buddies. But Sophie insisted I needed grown-up company. I thought it would be a passing novelty. Instead, it led me straight into the arms of Daniel Reed. Daniel was tall, dark-haired, with a confident swagger that drew every eye at the party. He told me, in a hush that made my heart pound, that he'd spent the whole evening trying to muster the courage to talk to me. I laughed it off, too embarrassed to believe him, and assumed it was a practiced line. Yet the next morning, he appeared on my doorstep with coffee, croissants, and a shy grin. I couldn't let you slip away without saying hello. Over the first few weeks, Daniel was every romantic cliché come to life. He sent me texts at sunrise, praised my writing samples, and introduced me to friends who called me Emily, the rising star. I felt seen for the first time. I started drafting stories about our future, traveling together, collaborating on creative projects, building a life side by side. My parents noticed my glow and encouraged me. "He's a keeper," they said. But cracks began forming in that fairy tale glow. One evening, he teased me about spending time with my friends. "You'd have more fun if you stayed home with me," he murmured as I slipped on my coat for a study group. I paused, but shrugged it off. I miss them. His smile faltered. "I just hate feeling left out," he said, voice low. When I moved in with him after 3 months, suggested as easier while he found a larger apartment, I thought it was the next logical step. I envisioned long mornings cooking together, late-night conversations, mutual support. Instead, I found myself cooking alone, cleaning his messes, juggling my part-time job and a full course load while he worked late every night. On weekends, he'd vanish for hours under the guise of collaborating on new music, only to reappear at dawn, distant and distracted. By December, I was a shadow of myself, exhausted, anxious, and skipping classes to wait for his texts. My friends reached out, alarmed. Sophie warned, "Em, this isn't you." I reassured her in tears, promising I was fine. But inside, I felt hollow. Then, one cold winter's evening, I discovered I'd used every penny of my savings to cover our rent. I told Daniel, palms shaking. He laughed, light, mocking, and slapped me across the cheek, a single sharp blow that echoed through my chest. "You're reckless," he snapped. "Learn to manage money." The sting was nothing compared to the way his words wounded me. I was reckless, irresponsible, someone who didn't understand our future. In that instant, as tears blurred the barely lit hallway, I realized I had become someone I didn't recognize, a person suffocated by someone else's expectations. That night, I packed a bag by the faint glow of my phone screen. I left a note on his pillow. "I deserve love that lifts me up, not pushes me down." My hands shook so violently, I nearly dropped the suitcase on my foot. I took the first bus home to my parents' house, where my mother met me in tears and held me until my own sobs subsided. Healing was not immediate. I spent days scribbling in my journal, untangling his voice from mine. I reconnected with friends who remembered me as bright, curious, fun. I got back into my writing, channeling my pain into fiction and essays. Each published article, each heartfelt conversation, stitched me back together. Over time, I came to understand that Daniel's concern had never been about my well-being. It was about control. He knew exactly how to keep me craving his approval, praise me when I excelled, withdraw affection when I didn't bend to his will, provoke insecurity until I clung to his half-hearted apologies. It was a cycle as old as manipulation itself, an emotional roller coaster powered by my own empathy and his well-practiced charm. Today, when I look in the mirror, I see strength in my eyes. I escaped a narcissist's grip and found myself again, wiser, kinder to my own heart, and free to write my own story. I learned that true love never makes you small. It never leaves bruises, literal or invisible. It never asks you to choose someone else's dreams over your own. If my story speaks to you, know this: you are not alone, and you are not broken. You deserve respect, kindness, and a partner who celebrates the whole of you. And most of all, you have the power to reclaim your light, one brave step at a time.